This day 186 of the Zohar Pshat, Merchal from the base, and we wrote about Netzach and Hod. So I want to give a little Hakdama. I'm not sure how much the actual Zohar will do today. And as in the Kuchas HaScholas HaChochma, Kuchas Klali HaScholas HaChochma, in the end of the Shai Reb Chal says, Netzach is Chesed, but it's not Chesed Gomer Rak Mimuzak Bedingt Tzas. It's not absolute Chesed, Chesed which is above it, but it's din is there is din in it, and included. It says included in Netzach something which looks bad at the time, but is really good according for the ultimate purpose. Hod is a din, which is somewhat mitigated by Chesed, and it also includes that which is bad, which looks like it's good, but eventually it's going to prove to be bad. Now, the we say Moshe Aharon b'Kohanav Shmuel b'Korei Shemo. That sentence can be taught in two ways: Moshe and Aaron together among the Kohanim, or Moshe, Aaron among the Kohanim, and Shmuel b'Korei Shemo. So it doesn't matter for our purposes which way you parse it. The point is that I want to focus on Aaron versus Shmuel. Aaron comes to Hashem as a Kohen. Kohen is the Shluchah Drachmana. He's Hashem's emissary to us. And he comes with the magnificence of Hod, of the splendor of the one thing which Judaism prescribes to be a tremendous pageant with great fanfare and a great ceremony, avoiding the Beis HaMikdash. Anything else in Judaism does not require that type of uniforms and ritual and pomp and ceremony, only avoid the Beis HaMikdash. That's the Hod. Our Hod is avoid the Beis HaMikdash. And that is the place where miracles occurred. People stand packed and then bow down with last plenty of room. And all the other miracles, of course, which are enumerated taking place in Beis HaMikdash, which is something where the majesty is manifest. Netzach is eternity, but it's the long game. And it's something where Korei Shmo, you have it's coming from the downside up. So the Netzach means, yes, the eventual victory. It has to be first there's a war, then there's a Nitzachon. Yes, there's eternity, but eternity is a long process. It's Hod in the moment, amazing spectacle. Netzach, in the long run, we get there. So there are two types of nevuah. There's a nevuah which came from Hod, and as Zohar is going to say, until Shmuel, all nevuah came from Hod because of the episode with the Malach of Esav. Then there's a nevuah which comes from Netzach. The nevuah comes from Hod, comes to the select few from above. The nevuah which comes from Netzach, the schools of Bnei Nevi'im, which we train people in order to uplift them from below. Until the time of Shmuel, when he brought this Midah into the world, and it comes to the field of Chana and the name Tzvaos, Nevuah was a rarity in Am Yisrael. Being themselves usually were separate from the nation. And they came from this level of Hod. Why? Because the Malach of Esav, according to Zohar, came along and he was able to damage the Midah of Netzach. He was able to attack Yaakov Avinu and get to that thigh, that pillar, right, of the connection of the masses, of people who are not from the chosen few, the people who came through the Midah of Netzach, to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, not through the Midah of Hod, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Evidently, it's because among the Kohanim, at least in Beis HaMikdash, probably most of them are very righteous, very great tzaddikim. Whereas among the masses, by definition, not everybody can be tzaddik. That's why there's another Chazal says that the Malach of Esav damaged the door of Shmad. There's going to be people who become Shmad who go off. So that makes it much more difficult to come in the bottom up because of all the negatives, which are dead by definition. There. Have to be there. Just like the Chelbana is part of the Ketores. So what the Zohar says here, and again, we're going to just, after that introduction, we're just going to do like one line. He says that, the Zohar says, in the Clef Alpha Base 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 11 lines down. Yoshua is Nabi Milhudo Shemosha. Yoshua, he was a Navi, and Navim after him, they came from the Hod of Moshe. Now, of course, in the Array of Spheres, the way we have it today, Moshe is associated with Netzach. But the association of Moshe and Netzach is not a simple thing. And again, Moshe and Aharon are together in this respect. And although Moshe represents Netzach in the sense that he was the one who put the master plan, the long-term plan into effect, and the one who dictated the wars of Israel for a time with the war of Amalek, etc., etc. But the Nevuah Moshe Rabbeinu, how could it not be? It's was above Hod. It was way above Hod, but to the extent that we can bring it down to our level to understand it, it's Hod. It comes from above, like Hashem came to Masneh and chose him and gave him Nevuah. So that's and all the Reem afterwards as well came from the meat of Hod. The Sibin Assignment love Hod V'da Dargach Chamisha. But this is the fourth, fifth level. Chesed, Gvura, Tiferes, Netzach, Hod. Yet Netzach was Yaakov, smaller than Yaakov. Netzach was, so to speak, the left leg of Yaakov, which seems to me make no sense because Netzach is on the right. But it means that the Malach set it back as if it was on the left. And he said, we're going, his action, whatever that war was in the more mystical sense, he put it on the left, and David had to put it back. And David, of course, was anointed by Shmuel. So there, not Netzach, Yemincha looks. It doesn't say Yemin, the Netzach was on the right, be Mincha. We have to put it back on the right. So what happened was that the Netzach, which should have been on the right, became left, and the Hod, which should have been on the left, became right. In other words, what should have been dominant became not dominant. What should have not been dominant became dominant. In other words, the Ikran Haga is for Am Yisrael, totality of the nation, not just for the Kohanim and those people who are the elite few. But that's what happened because of the fact that the Am Yisrael has this Achilles heel, only here it's in the hot thigh, which is represented by the Dorosh Hashma, by the people who are the Chelbana in the Ketores. Okay, we're going to continue along these lines. I'm trying. There's always going to explain more. It's going to elaborate on the idea. But in the meantime, the point is that Nevuah of Netzach was pushed off until the time of Shmuel. And Shmuel's tremendous Mila, Shmuel, as Chazal say, went from place, unlike the Sanhedrin which came before him, which is sat Ish Tachas Gafan, Ish Tachas Teinoso. Shmuel went from place to place and was mechanech and was shofet in each and every place, taking his trailer with him. So that is the idea of being Masakin Amisol in order to make everybody right for Nevuah. Okay, that's a good enough for today. We'll have to continue along these vein tomorrow, Mitzvah Hashem.